It's time. It's time to tear down the strongholds. It's time to tear down these mental strongholds that Amway has put into the mind of their NPCs. And pretty much all over the world too. With all of their propaganda, all of their promotions, how they betray themselves. It's time to tear those things down, and it's time to expose them. That's what we're going to do here in this episode, because this show is called Unplug, where we free the minds of the people that are enslaved and indoctrinated by the network marketing matrix, or the multi-level marketing matrix, the MLM matrix. We free them. We give them the true red pill so they can be free. My name is TJ Misumi, and I'm your host. In this episode, we are going to dive into a series where I'm going to describe Amway and how it was able to sustain itself for so many years. I'm going to describe LTD as well, and how it has been able to sustain itself for so many years. The reason why I say series is because I'm not sure if it's going to be a two-parter or not. I'm not sure if we're going to have to do a part 1 and a part 2 to describe Amway, and a part 1 and a part 2 to describe LTD. I'm not sure. I'm just going to have to just play this out and see how it goes. So bear with me here. We have so many years of indoctrination that Amway has done that we're going to have to try and break all these things down. So alright, well, I'll begin with this. The reason why previously you've heard me describe Amway as a so-called business, why you've heard me describe the Amway opportunity as a so-called opportunity, is because really it's not an opportunity and it's not a business. Same thing as I have described LTD. It's a scam. It's not legitimate. It's not that's why you may have heard me say it's a tools business that helps people to so-called, help them. To help them build their so-called businesses. It's LTD is not a tools business, truly. Not a legitimate true, as they portray tools business, and same with Amway. It is not a real legitimate business. So we are going to dive into this. Okay, so Amway is a multi-billion-dollar company. It has a lot of accolades. It has a lot of endorsements, which we'll dive into. such as, an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and all these things. Amway has sponsored the BCS Championship, Big Ten. They own the Orlando Magic. They own the Amway Arena Center for the Orlando Magic. Kurt Warner, a former UNI quarterback, has sponsored some products from Amway, and so have other athletes. So it has, all these things. Sandra Bullock sponsored Artistry, which is a makeup line for Amway. Jennifer Lopez has sponsored this it was a thing for your skin. It was called True Vivity. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was sold by Amway. Jennifer Lopez sold that. So they've been having these for years. They even had like a protein bar called a Shaq bar, because Shaquille O'Neal used to sponsor this protein bar, I believe back in the 90s when he played for the Orlando Magic. So just some examples. So how did this all begin? Well, Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel are the owners of the Amway Corporation. These two served in war together. I believe it was World War I. And after that, experience, they decided to come back and start their own business, or to do something with their life to build wealth and have success. So they get into a company called Nutrilite. So actually what happened is Nutrilite was the first multi-level marketing company. Multi-level marketing is an industry, and it's also described as network marketing as well. So Nutrilite was a multi-level marketing company that mostly, it only sold vitamins. Let's see, it was started by Carl Renberg. Mr. Renberg. So he basically was a con man most of his life. That's part of his history. Got into a lot of ways to get rich back in his day, such as, trying to find gold. That was a big thing back in his day. We're talking like 1920s, 30s. But fast forward, Carl Renberg would eventually own Nutrilite, basically a multi-level marketing company that sold vitamins. And eventually, Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos would get recruited in this company called Nutrilite back in the 1940s. I believe 1949. And then and they were mostly just recruiters in that company, helping to recruit. They built a downline, both of them. And then eventually the company Nutrilite would face some scrutiny and have some negative publicity, because they would make these allegations such as, these vitamins can cure certain diseases and stuff like that too, which isn't true, but they're making these claims to get their products sold, and so it caused a lot of heat from the FTC. And so actually it caused Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos to leave Nutrilite, and they decided to take their downline that they built, that they recruited underneath them, and they decided to take their whole team and create their own multi-level marketing company, and that became Amway, which was years later. They started in 1959, and I'll add this in here too, that it was around the 1990s, years later, Amway would buy Nutrilite, and so then Nutrilite would now be basically a product line for Amway. But before, Nutrilite was the first multi-level marketing company, and for a while they were basically a competition to Amway in their same industry, the multi-level marketing industry or the network marketing industry, until Amway would buy Nutrilite in the 90s. Hope that makes sense. So some people may think that Amway was the first multi-level marketing company because it's like an OG company. It's at the top of the industry as far as multi-level marketing is concerned, but it was actually Nutrilite that was the first multi-level marketing company. A lot of people don't really talk about that, but that's how it is. So from 1959, Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos would succeed, in this industry, the multi-level marketing industry. Selling products, recruiting people, and it would become a multi-million-dollar company. Its first initial years, and then eventually down the road it would become what we know today, a multi-billion-dollar company. But before it got there, we're talking like around, in the 1960s, 1970s. A lot of the people that were in Amway were starting to speak their voices out and complain about how, they're losing money, how they're getting scammed, claims like that. And it was actually getting a lot of attention from the FTC. And during this time, a lot of Amway's competition, because also after Nutrilite, Amway was in the picture as far as another multi-level marketing company in that industry, the multi-level marketing industry. But then there was also other companies separate that started their own company that was in the industry of multi-level marketing. So this industry has been growing, since the 40s. Basically, as we get into the 1960s and 1970s, a lot of Amway's competition in their industry, such as, Holiday Magic, for example, that's another multi-level marketing company. They're getting shut down by the FTC, and the FTC is shutting down these companies for being a quote-unquote pyramid scheme. And I will describe what a pyramid scheme is. Basically, it's where there's no external market for a certain company or establishment to sell their products. It's all within their own market, their own distributors, and they're buying the products for this establishment. And because of that, all that money is flowing up towards, the people that are at the top, that are recruiting these distributors. So it's where all the money is just flowing up, and only like a fraction of people are actually making a profit. So for example, let's just say there's a company out there called Z. What's called Z. And let's just say they don't, and let's just say it's a company that sells a lotion, and they don't sell their lotion to the marketplace, such as, Target, Walmart, Hy-Vee. They don't sell their lotion to their marketplaces, such as, these grocery stores or anywhere else, and so there's no consumer market, out there that they're trying to promote their lotion. They only really promote their lotion towards the people that are inside the company, Z. So like, instead of like having a lotion and selling it, in the world, at various stores and promoting it and putting it in commercials and stuff like that for people to know what they are and to buy them. Basically, you're using distributors, people that join your company and they sign up under your company. They're legally known as distributors, and they are the market. It's not like a normal product of lotion where they're trying to promote it to commercials, ads, and then sell it to various stores like a Walmart, Hy-Vee, Target. No, they don't pay for any of that. They don't try and market their products to commercials on TV. They don't try and put their products on the shelf of any store, not a gas station, not a Walmart, not a Hy-Vee, whatever. They only promote it by word of mouth to people that basically are legalized as sole proprietors or distributors, and they buy the products, and they have those distributors do the same thing by recruiting others that they know to buy the products and be distributors. And so really the distributors are the market. The distributors, the sales of the lotion, the company Z, or what we're calling it for this analogy, their consumers of the lotion is the distributors, the people inside the company. And those people are talking to other people to become what they are, distributors, to use this lotion. And so then all that money is just flowing up towards the people that are at a higher rank of the company Z, which is only a fraction of them. That'd be a pyramid scheme where all the money's flowing up versus just, being a normal lotion company, such as cocoa butter, and it's being advertised on TV, and then it's being sold in Walmart, Target, the mall, stuff like that too. So then the customers, people that are not, distributors of cocoa butter, but just people outside of the company, just people that don't have any involvement with the company. They're just customers getting their groceries, buying their stuff at the mall or whatever. They see cocoa butter and they buy it. They're a customer, and so the money is coming from the market, an external market versus internal in the company. And it's just all flowing up. I hope that makes sense. It's where all the money is just basically flowing up. if that made sense. To people that have been in, in Amway or any other multi-marketing company, it might make sense to them, but I mean, others that have never been a part of this or never been in a multi-marketing company, it might not make sense. That's why I'm trying to go over it. But basically, it's a fraudulent system of where money is made, and it all comes from recruiting an ever growing number of distributors, in this company, where you become a distributor and then you recruit more people to become a distributor where they're buying the products in this multi-marketing company. And the analogy we're using Z, and it just keeps going from there. That's how that works. But yeah, all the money is just flowing up. That's where all the money goes. So basically, like, if you ever get recruited through Amway and really any multi-marketing company, they're gonna all say that they're not pyramid schemes. But each and every single multi-level marketing company in this industry is a pyramid scheme. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. But they're gonna say that they're not, a pyramid scheme because we have products, and products are getting moved or shipped or sold, but it's the distributors that are doing that. So that's where the real income is being made from. So the market is the distributors. So there really is no real market. And so, these companies like Amway, at least the meetings that I was a part of through LTD, a lot of these meetings, such as the info session that I talked about in episode 1, that takes place weekly, once a week. So in those kinds of meetings, they will say that your job is a pyramid. The job that you work at, 5-6 days a week, because you have someone above you. You have your managers, and then you have, your boss, the one that owns the company that you work for. Well, the difference is first and foremost, you're told up front what, your job is. You're told up front, transparency, how much you're going to make. And yeah, you have someone above you, but it's different where, like, I'm not having to buy into the opportunity where I have to pay monthly, into the opportunity. For example, like the job I work at, I don't have to pay my job monthly and have, that income flow up to my boss, if that makes sense. I mean, I make my boss money by what I do, but I'm not paying my boss, for example, $300, $400 a month. Same with my coworkers. We're not paying our job that we work at $300 to $400 a month, and then having all of that money flow up to the boss that hired us, or if you want to say recruited us to be employees of his job. That's the difference. We're not buying into a so-called opportunity, and we're not trying to buy into it every single month. We're not trying to do that. That's the difference. So but yeah, I mean that's how they will try and promote or try and like debunk how they're not a pyramid scheme, but they are a pyramid scheme. So, back to the story. A lot of the competition that Amway has, such as Holiday Magic, that I use as an example, that was a competition back in the 70s. They're getting shut down. And so then we head into 1975, mid 1970s, and now the FTC is investigating Amway. And now they put them on a case where they're being tried, Amway, for being a pyramid scheme. And so what happened is when we got to 1979, this is when President Nixon resigned because of Watergate, and his vice president took over. And his vice president is a politician from Michigan. And Michigan is where Amway is actually located, their headquarters. And that's where Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos lived at, specifically Ada, Michigan. And they have a lot of power there. If you actually ever go to Ada, Michigan, even today, they have a lot of buildings owned by those two names, Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos. Their last names, DeVos, Van Andel. So they have a lot of influence and a lot of power in Michigan. And the vice president that took over for Nixon was from there. So politically, they were connected to the vice president, which would then become the president of the United States, right? The vice president for Nixon will become the president for the United States, and they had political connections with him. And so, because of that, Amway was able to have their case dismissed in 1979 for not being a pyramid scheme. But, there's, reports, proof that they actually met with the new president now at that time in the Oval Office, and the models were the same. The business models, if you look at it from Holiday Magic, for example, and other companies, they were all the same. The proof was there, but they were able to get away with not being called a pyramid scheme and not being shut down for being a pyramid scheme because of political influence. With now the new president in 1979. And so from that point, through a lot of propaganda and through a lot of promotion and political influence, Amway has been able to sustain itself since then. For example, they supported Reagan in the future. They supported Bush, President Bush. And so throughout that time, they were able to rebrand themselves as becoming, a capitalistic business, free enterprise, America, rah, rah, just the propaganda, and then able to have celebrities endorse their products and all this stuff. They had the power to. They were making money, millions of dollars. Eventually would turn into a billion-dollar company, so they'd have billions of dollars, and so they're able to buy their way out of never getting shut down, and buy their way out. from the FTC. And so actually it was around the 1980s where Amway, with its political influence, was able to basically silence and shut down the FTC for about 12 years at that point, and they coined the term multi-level marketing, just to describe Amway. So this is how you hear today what these companies are in the industry of MLM, multi-level marketing. It came from the 80s. It was coined in the 80s, by the owners of Amway, Jay Van Andel, Rich DeVos. They coined that. So just to get out of just to not have in the limelight, in the public eye of being a pyramid scheme, a scam. No, it's multi-level marketing. So yeah. Anyway, so throughout that time, they've continued, and even to this day, to have political influence. They're basically in the White House. There was a time when their caucus was called the Amway Caucus at one point, and now it's a different name for it. As an example, Betsy DeVos was the Secretary of Education during Trump's time in as President of the United States. So basically, today, and if you get recruited by Amway or anybody, they're gonna say, do the lawyers know more than you do? Do lawyers have more credibility than you do? And if that's the case, why haven't they shut down Amway? Do the police know more than you? Do they have more credibility than you? If that's the case, why haven't they shut down Amway? These are things that they would say at their meetings, meetings that I would go to, right? But it's because of political influence. They're able to buy their way out of not getting shut down by the FTC, of not getting heat from the FTC. That's why. It's not because really they know damn well of what's going on. But it's just through political influence, politics goes, they're able to get away with it. So I'll dive into this part of the topic. I'm not sure if this is how it works for every multi-level marketing company. I'm not sure if every Amway recruiter will do this, but the meetings that I went to, specifically the info sessions that took place once a week, right, that I mentioned before, they would draw the compensation plan for Amway. And they would have an example where if one male were to recruit a couple, right? And let's just say this couple, we'll say husband and wife, this couple themselves were to recruit 6 individual people by themselves. This couple, right? They themselves recruit 6 individual people, other people. They would put a circle around the couple and ask the audience in this meeting, who do you think will make more money? The male that recruited the couple, or the couple that's circled, in front of everybody, the married couple that's circled, that recruited 6 individual people, and the one presenting on stage would say it's the couple because they put more value towards the Amway business, and they put more value towards more people. They helped more people. They would say they helped more people, but the analogy is they recruited more people, and so that's why it's not a pyramid. It's the ones that do the most work that earn the most. So for example, this couple here has recruited 6 people versus this man only recruited 1 person, which is a couple, if that makes sense. And so they would say it's not a pyramid because this couple is below the male, and they're making more money because they have more responsibility. They have 6 individual people that they have to coach and teach and whatnot, and so they'd use that as an example. But it's still a pyramid because all the money is still flowing up. So yes, that is true. This analogy, at least for this specific Amway business, the couple does make more money than the male. Yes, but all the money is still flowing up because when it comes to the 6 individual people that are below this married couple, pretty much all of those 6 individual people, or if not 6 of them, at least the majority of them, like at least 5 of them, are losing money. They're financially struggling. They're struggling to pay off, having to buy, Amway products, every single month and meet their quota. They're having to struggle having to, on the side of that, go to functions, go to conferences, meetings, subscribe to the Tools app to learn how to build the business, whatever. But we can exclude the Tools part of it. We'll just talk about the products. They're still losing money because they're having to spend $100 alone on buying the products from their own website. Each of those 6 people, right? So at least the majority of them, if not all 6 of them, at least 5 of them, in this analogy, are losing money. I would know because I was one of them. The people at the bottom were, month in, month out, I'm struggling, having to pay $100 towards buying products for my website. And from my personal experience, there was more money going in towards buying products from my Amway website alone than the money that I got paid back for doing it. And so it's still flowing up where, in this analogy, there's still a lot of people in this whole scenario. If you look at it from a whole big picture, the majority are still losing money, and then you only have you for sure have the married couple, making a profit. And then the one above him, the male, would be included there as well. And then maybe like one other person. But outside of that, the majority of people in this scenario are losing money. And them losing money is why the couple and this single guy and maybe another person is able to financially profit and succeed. So how the business works is they say that like it's through helping other people, building value, that we don't succeed unless you succeed. When the reality is it's a fixed system. This whole system is a fixed system where the reality is that only 2 to 3% will succeed, and it's based off of people being at a financial loss. It's based off of people financially losing, and I was one of those people that was financially losing, and that's the truth. And and they'll do things like, and shame you for, hey, it's up to you. You take responsibility. If you don't succeed in this thing, it's your fault. It's not the system, it's you. That's drilled into you in your mind, but really it's the system that you're part of is a fixed system. The system is designed for people to lose. So I'll explain this. In the previous episode, I talked about PV. That's points per volume. Right, so every $3 is a point, right? It's the volume that's going through your own website. So we were required to do a ditto to go through the first of the month. Ditto is where you have an automatic transaction on your debit card or credit card that you put on file through your Amway account, where products are being bought through your card, your own personal debit card, credit card, whatever, and you can pick any date, but they want the first of the month, so then it's a reoccurring thing going first of the month. Products are going through, so they want that, so then the first of the month, the upline, the people that are above you, that recruited you, they want to know where their whole team is at the first of the month, so then they can know where to go from there for the rest of the month as far as how to build their Amway business and continue to grow it and increase their PV and increase the number of people that are in it, to recruit more people. That's how it works. So you're required to do a ditto first of the month. They really push for they really push for 300 PV. They really push for that, and it's a really big deal actually. I mean, they'll have you walk across stage at certain meetings, and just notice you for doing that. So it's really, really pushed heavily and pressured. But if not that, they want at least a bare minimum of 100 PV. So I'm gonna be honest with you, 100 PV is at least $400. All right, and then 300 PV it's $1,000. So when I first started out, I was like paying $400, a month, and then I mentioned in my story there was a period of time where I wasn't doing any PV because I was, going through my financial struggles. But then it got to a point where I would eventually get a nice paying job at a factory, right, that I mentioned before. And so I was able to put more money towards my business. And during that time period, I was spending $1,000 a month towards my Amway business, just on products alone. So every single month, the first of the month, I was spending $1,000 just on Amway products. So it was, protein shakes, protein bars, a supplement, essential amino acids, vitamins, CBD cream, and energy drinks. That was what I was spending per month, and it all accumulated to $1,000, right? 300 PV. Okay, so what I would make back from that, was $300. So that's not even half of what I spent. So I mean, that's an example of where, just off of the products alone, I didn't even mention LTD and what I was spending there. We're just talking about Amway here. We're just the money that I was spending specifically for Amway, just alone, just that, just my website, my Amway website, and buy my own products. It is $1,000 a month that I was doing, and I did not make that back. I made maybe a third of that back. that's an example of where like there's, a lot of people like me that are putting money in towards their Amway website per month, doing anywhere from 100 PV, 300 PV, maybe more. And a lot of the money that they're putting in towards their Amway website, what they get back from it is a fraction, but it's not the same amount, and it's not even more. So no profit whatsoever. That's what it is for a majority of people. And it's from those people like myself, where you have people above us, people that recruited us, that are making the profit off of our losses. That's how the system works. So yeah, I mean, if you go to a certain Amway meeting and they draw this out towards you, it might not be a traditional pyramid where like each and every single level that you go up, or like if you draw like if you draw out someone's team, each and every single person that's above each person, it might not traditionally go up as a pyramid where like each person that is ranked higher is making more money. It might not be that way specifically, like in this analogy that I just explained, where you had the couple that's below the male making more money because they have 6 people below them, and this male only had 1 person, which was the couple, right? But it's still all flowing up because all those people are still in that single male's team, right? But the couple's making more money because they have individually 6 partnerships, where this male only has 1 partnership that has built depth, if that makes sense, where like it's gone deeper, where like underneath this one partnership, this couple has built a very big team, right? But this male that brought this couple in didn't recruit other people outside of that couple. It was just that couple, and then that couple built their own team. So that male is making less money than the couple. However, the people that are below the couple, that's what I'm talking about. The majority of people that are below that couple, they're like me, struggling to pay off their Amway products per month and losing money. And from that loss financially, that's how the couple is succeeding. I hope that makes sense. It's based off of financial losses that people are able to succeed, and that's only 2-3%. Because, and I say that because my experience, but also because statistically, if you do your research, just statistically, 90% of people lose money through Amway. That's a true stat. Look it up. Every single year, that's a stat, and only 2-3% make money, and it's based off of people's financial losses that the 2-3% make money. So it's a fixed system. That's how it works. It's designed for people to lose, a majority of people to lose, and then only a fraction of them succeed. But it's based off of the people's losses. That's how it works, and that's only like 1 year, right? If you were to do a statistic, they haven't done it, but if you were to do a statistic over like a period of time, like 5 years, that 2-3% is still the same the following year, right? But the 97% or 98% is churning. So like if you were to add up 5 years and do that same stat for 5 years, then add up all the people that have left, that have quit, revolving door business, right? It would be like less than 0.0001% that actually succeed in this business, in a 5-year time frame. And again, they're gonna try and flip that on you and say, hey, it's because it's based off of hard work. It's those that only like because we live in a world where, like, they say that, only a certain amount of people are willing to work hard for what they want. The 1%ers and stuff like that too. So they're gonna push that, and here in this environment and say, yeah, it's a low stat, but it's those people that actually decide to work hard that do it. But no, it's not. It's not that. It's it's a fixed system where a majority of people lose money, and only a fraction of them make money, and it's based off of people that are losing money, where they're spending money on their products, their Amway products, and financially struggling to pay them off because they're expensive as hell each and every single month, and that's how the profit's made. It's not hard work, it's a fixed system. And I really want to get that to people that have been in this company, because they really indoctrinate you into thinking that this is a legitimate business, and they really indoctrinate you if you're in the environment that I was in, where like if you don't succeed in this, it's your fault, personal responsibility. And I get that in life you need to have personal responsibility, but like they're gonna really try and manipulate that and make it seem like, okay, it's not the plan, the competition plan, it's you. So if you don't succeed, it's your fault. And so you have a lot of people that, quit the business and leave it. And sad thing is that, even when they leave it, they think that they left a good opportunity, but it wasn't for them. But the reality is they actually left a scam. And that scam wasn't for them. And there are people that are like me, who eventually wake up, get unplugged, and leave the business. But then there are also the people like me that may not see the truth, and they continue to stay in it, and they never find the truth of that this is a pyramid scheme and that this is a scam. I might need to do a part 2 about this, because I'm not sure if I got all this out there yet. I'm just hoping that I made sense. But just know that it's a fixed system. It's not a real opportunity. It never has been, and it never was, and never will be. And yeah, I need to do a part 2, honestly, about this. Part 2 about Amway only, and then after that we'll have to dive into LTD, because that's another monster that I need to break down as well too. So I guess we'll stop here, and we'll do a part 2 of this series of breaking down this stronghold of that, Amway is a legitimate business opportunity, la-di-la-di-la. It's not a pyramid scheme, whatever. So we're going to break that down, and I will see you in the next episode of part 2. Catch you next time. Thank you.